Hello everybody, my name is Amanda and welcome back to Fiction in Flannels. So in my last video I reviewed To All the Boys I Loved Before and I figured it was about time that I saw the movie. There's been a lot of hype all over Twitter and Instagram. I've been seeing all those funny like hashtag To All the Boys I Loved Before They Opened Their Mouths. In fact, let me just read a few. To all the boys I loved before I insulted them so much they had no idea that I loved him. To all the boys I provided emotional support for as they pursued thinner girls. To all the boys who sat opposite of me on public transport that I loved before. It actually did happen to me. I didn't even get a Snapchat. So already I could see that a lot of people were relating to this movie and very on board with it, so of course I had to get on that train. And I have to say, it was just so adorable. I think it has now become one of my favorite romantic comedy movies. Also, can we appreciate the fact that we're getting some representation for our Asian actors? Like, please, like, continue the trend. In this video, I just want to go over some things that they changed, some things that they added, and talk about my overall thoughts and feelings of the movie. The cinematography of this movie was beautiful. There's lots of colors, great use of lighting, and just the shots were gorgeous. There was a perfect shot where she is writing down one of her letters and it looks just like the cover of the book. The brightness and the colors just made the world seem so almost magical. That added to kind of the romantic mood of the entire story. The cinematography actually reminded me a lot of another director named Yulin Kwang. I highly recommend that you check her out. She makes very gorgeous videos that are very colorful. They deal a lot with like teen girl life or just kind of funny, cutesy, awkward drama, which I felt was a lot like the spirit of this movie. It dealt with the themes of Laura Jean not wanting to confront reality and actually pursue love because she knew it wouldn't compare to what's in her head, but then realizing, hey, this is still a good thing. The beginning of the movie was already completely different from what I expected. It actually starts out in Laura Jean's imagination, which is walking in a field in one of those long flowing red dresses, and then Josh comes over and is like the knight in shining armor. You already get a sense that Laura Jean is this imaginative, romantic person and that she has these high expectations for her love life, and then like she snaps back into reality when like Kitty hits her with a pillow, and I just thought that was a great way to open it up. You're given a brief introduction to Laura Jean and Josh's relationship through like these quick clips, but I felt like it could have been better established, just their relationship. Unlike the book, Josh is not in the movie a lot. He appears at like some parts to give like a dramatic speech to Laura Jean or to like stare at her longingly, like. But for the most part he's kind of just there. Eventually we're introduced to Peter, and I feel really bad for saying this, but for the first half of the movie I could not tell him apart from Josh. Like, they had very similar haircuts and very similar face shapes. Peter had slightly darker skin and Josh was a little thinner and lighter, but I kept thinking like, wait a second, didn't you just talk to him? So that was a little confusing at first. Another thing that they changed, and this was something I noticed throughout the whole movie, was they changed a lot of the characters' motivations. In the book, Kitty releases Laura Jean's letters to everybody because she's mad at her for almost telling Josh that she likes him. But in the movie, Kitty releases them because she realizes that Laura Jean is lonely and doesn't have a lot of friends, so she thinks that the letters will push her to start talking to people. I mean, it wasn't something I necessarily hated. I actually really liked what they did with Kitty's character. I felt like she had more of a presence in the movie. Had kind of like a nice banter between her and Laura Jean, and she was very supportive and very honest with her. I really liked that about her. I didn't see why they had to change it. Maybe because they didn't want to paint Kitty as a bad person. At the same time, even though Kitty did a bad thing, I never thought of her as a bad sister. I just thought, okay, she did something impulsive that was bad in the moment, and later she regrets it, so I guess I just didn't understand why that was necessary to be changed. What I do appreciate is that Lucas was there and that he got more screen time than he did in the book, and that they kept his character as this very caring, outgoing person that bonds with Laura Jean. There's even this moment when they go skiing. Laura Jean's like, I've got Korean face masks, and Lucas is just like, I'm in. And the next scene they're both wearing Korean face masks. I thought that was such a cute moment. Another thing, do people actually say homeboy? Because I don't know anyone who would say, hey, how you doing with your homeboy over there? Like, I couldn't tell if that was an actual piece of dialogue that people still say, or if it was just some writer thinking, hey, this is how the teens talk. Mwahahaha. Best of all, I think, in this movie is that we get closure. In the book, it is left just Laura Jean writing a letter to Peter. It's supposed to be the segue into the sequel. In this movie, they have Laura Jean confronting Josh, giving him the letter, and they both express that they like each other, and then they walk off the field, and Laura Jean makes a joke saying, I always imagined falling in love in like a field. I never thought it would be like a lacrosse field. I thought that was just a funny joke that they included in. Overall thoughts, it was a very good adaptation and a very good movie that I would definitely watch again. Let me know what your thoughts on the movie were below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if there were some parts you would have changed as well. I'd really like to get a discussion going. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, the works. Follow me on my social medias, which I will link down below, and I will see you soon with another video. Goodbye!